Hey, this is Richard Walsh from Sharpen the Spirit Coach. And if you really want to learn how to level up your life, you should be listening to the Time to Shine Today podcast with my good friend, Scott Ferguson. Let's level up.
Time to Shine Today podcast varsity squad. This is Scott Ferguson, and I got my guy, Richard Walsh from Sharpen the Spear Coaching. This guy is no joke. Kind of a badass, black belt, ex-Marine, but also the most relatable, nice guy that you'll ever meet, and chock full of knowledge nuggets that I have 3 pages of notes just that I took in the, I don't know, it was 29 minutes that we actually spoke. I actually spoke to him a lot more off mic because he was so blessed. I was so blessed to have him drop some serious knowledge nuggets on me to level up my business, my life. And I know that he can too. So if anybody that's really looking to make that leap or bridge that performance gap, then share this with them. Or if you don't mind hitting like or even subscribe, my sponsors and affiliates absolutely love that. So without further ado, here's my really good friend, Richard Walsh. Let's level up. Time to Shine Today podcast varsity squad. This is Scott Ferguson, and I'm actually late getting to the mic because me and my guy here, who we actually say we're brothers from other mothers, Richard Walsh, somebody that I immensely respect, who's the CEO of Sharpen the Spear Coaching. And we were just talking about war stories, man stories and whatnot. It was just, I just resonate so well with my friend Richard, who's a 30-year seasoned entrepreneur. He's the best-selling author, wait for a book giveaway at the end, of Escape the Owner Prison, the contractor's new way to scale, regain control, and fast-track growth while loving life. A speaker and podcast host, he's a husband and a father of 6 children, a U.S. Marine, hoorah, champion boxer, black belt, and an internationally recognized steel sculptor. So you don't want to probably be in a dark alley and try this guy. So just trust me on that. His expertise lies in combining both the strategic and the tactical. He's able to deliver immediate problem-solving results, the tactical side, along with strategic long-term implementation of systemization and scalability. With over 30 years of business himself, Richard has embraced time compression, sharing the secrets and strategies that bring rapid and lasting results that the companies he works with. And Richard, thank you so much for coming on. Please introduce yourself to the Time to Shine Today podcast varsity squad. But first, what's your favorite color and why?
Blue.
Blue.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Because it is.
I love it, dude. I was thinking you were going to say like purple because I know that blue is really chill.
That's royalty. Purple's royalty. And I'm Richard, King Richard. I give it all. It all works, but purple's not it.
But there's red in purple, and I know that if you try you got that red side that comes out.
I do.
It's like a mix.
I do. I'm very complex.
Let's get this. I know you're a fellow veteran. This is awesome, man. Thanks for your service. And let's get to kind of the roots on how you are a super highly sought after performance coach on different fronts, not just physical, mental, spiritual even. But let's get to the roots, my friend.
How far back you want to go? Root. We go back to the seed, or you want to start?
No, man.
Pop through the dirt already.
Maybe we'll do like a joint, like long form version of us where we tell our stories. But let's kind of move through. I mean, you get out of the Marine Corps and kind of roll from there.
Perfect. So get out of the Marine Corps. Quick part of that, like you got to work, right? Got to get a job, got to make money.
Yes, sir.
All that, have a place to live. So I started swinging a pickaxe, digging trench for a cable company for $5 an hour all day long in Tucson, Arizona, in the nice heat, and 2 inches at a time through Caliche. If you haven't ever dug through that, that's a joy. And I'm like, wow, I might have to go back in the Marine Corps if this is my future. But I'm trying to make my way. I'm a doorman at a bar at night and stuff too.
Sure.
But someone offered me a side gig, Scott, and they said, hey, down there they have granite instead of grass and stuff, like crushed granite and all that. Mm-hmm. So they like 3/4 inch granite. Hey, I need this moved to my backyard and spread. It's only 35 tons worth. And can you do it? I said, I can do it. I swing a pickaxe all day. So I spent honestly, it was my last $85 before payday. And I bought a wheelbarrow and a shovel and I knocked it out in like 10 hours on a Saturday. Here's the best part. The guy came out and he put $1,000 in my hand.
Wow.
And I went, dang, I'm like doing this yesterday for $50.
Yeah.
And that was my sign to become an entrepreneur. I'm like, I know my future. I am going to work for myself.
Yeah.
I'm going to get all the money. And that's when, I started a landscape business, turned into a custom water feature business. So I really niched and became one of the best in the country at that, built some amazing things, started to add steel sculpture to it just because I wanted to. It's kind of like why I like blue, because I do.
Sure.
And I created world-class exhibits and came internationally recognized. It was really cool. And then, I was killing it. And then 08, 09 hit. And like everybody, we all suffered in one way or another. I
You
got to
did?
suffer
I'm
like
kidding. I got my
yes,
ass
well,
kicked, dude.
well, yeah. Well, I did too. I lost everything. So I had
Dude,
a wife.
we gotta meet for a bet when I get up there, brother.
I'm in Chicago. So yeah, I lost everything. So I had 6 children, my wife and 6 children, all under
Wow.
4 years old. Okay. Not my wife, wasn't under
8?
my kids in '08.
Wow.
Yeah. So I had that, and it's like, and things are just crumbling, right? On November 5th of 2008, I lost $500,000 on that day. And it just kept going off the cliff. And I was inching through '09. I'm like, yeah, this probably isn't going to happen. And I kind of had the thing, I rushed the close like it was going to collapse anyways. But I had an epiphany one morning. Scott was like, I was thinking about my kids. I work all the time. I'm all about business. I'm number one again. I know everything from mayor of Chicago. I'm on Fountain Task Force committees. I'm doing all the schools. I've got all the awards and everything. And I'm thinking, man, what my kids like don't care what I do. They don't care how many trucks I have. They don't care really what kind of house we live in, right? They just wanted me to be around. So if I came home late, they'd run, they attacked me. And one time my one son was chasing me down the driveway. I'm leaving in my truck and he's crying, chasing me down and looking in the rearview mirror like, what am I doing? So like that, it's just, I'm like, this isn't worth it. So I'm like, what if I continue down this path, Scott? All I'm going to do, I'm going to ruin my children's futures. I'm going to ruin their marriages, their relationships. They might be focused and good on business, but everything else in their life is going to go in the crapper.
Thank you, man.
You know, and I'm like, and I'm not going to do that. So I walked in that day and told my office manager, like, we're shutting down today.
Wow.
Went to my crew, had been with me for over 10 years, best guys ever, like family, like, guys, we got to shut this down. I'm not going to do this. I sold everything, what little I had, got rid of that, had to relocate, lost my house. Okay. Well, like so many other people then,
yeah,
right?
man.
Had to relocate and start over. And I didn't know what I was going to do, but I knew I was going to do what I was doing. And I haven't done a water feature since. I sold my welding equipment. I haven't done any sculptures. I'm a very all or nothing guy.
Sure.
Like much to the dismay of my wife, because maybe we could have kept some of that stuff and done, and she might've been right, but I don't operate that way. So I'd rather burn the ships and that kind of attitude. So had to reinvent myself. And I did that, started training people because I'm a fitness trainer as well, boxer and everything else. I started working for Anytime Fitness. Okay. So they're everywhere. I'm trainer. I started the program there. They had some subs that were doing stuff, and I built this thing. And next, I'm trainer of the year for Anytime Fitness. Like a year later, I'm like, well, what that means, Scott, I should open my own gym.
Of course,
because I'm an entrepreneur.
Goes right with
it. So I opened boot camp style training. Did a really cool. Created the whole belt system phase progression. Is really cool.
That's
had a blast
awesome.
doing that, scaling that, but doing it right this time. So I could go home when I wanted to go home. Have other people work for me, and did that. Then I got into contracting. So I did roofing, siding, windows. I did all that. Scaled that, did great with that, love that. And then at the same time, people were asking me, well, how'd you go from nothing, from being on the top to nothing and coming back? I said, well, I did this. So I kind of slid into the mentor position. Okay. Which is great. Just helping people. I like that. I'm just helping people do better at their business, but I'm also an entrepreneur. So what does that mean? I have to go from mentor to coach because mentors are free.
Right.
And coaches get paid.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to do this and get paid because value and everything else. So I did that, started rolling that. And I said, hey, I'll write a book. I should write a book about my story and why all these guys, I see all these businesses, I saw these patterns repeat in every single business. Anyone from like $1 to $10 million, especially 1 to 3, 1 to 5 million, range, especially in service and trades, all doing the same wrong things. So I said, let's write a book. So I weave my story in there, the collapse, everything else, and then how to fix all this, how to actually run your business, how to escape the owner prison. And the owner prison is this, Scott. You start a business, and I have not figured out how not to do this, but you have to work very hard. For like the first 2 years, you're wearing a lot of hats, doing a lot of the work yourself, closing deals, doing everything, right? That's good. The problem is next thing 10 years has gone by and you've repeated the first 2 5 times.
Oh,
and that's why you're not scaling. That you're making money, but you're not making money.
Yes.
You're not in the dream house. You're not taking 3 weeks off, going on vacation with the family. You're not doing. Matter of fact, you can't leave at all.
You own a job,
right? You go on vacation and you're calling in the office every day, or they're calling you. Right? It's that kind of stuff. So I'm like, that's going to be the mission. I'm going to fix that for people so they don't ruin their families.
Right.
They don't have broken marriages. They don't have a business that's just getting by that they cannot sell.
Right. Yeah.
All they have is a pile of depreciating assets. They're going to get 20 cents on the dollar. So that was the mission of Escape the Owner Prison. I started a little academy around that, the ETOP Academy, did a podcast, had 100 plus people on there, really great guests. And I just kept rolling and went into Sharpen the Spear, did a bunch of other coaching. And then finally I got on your podcast, Scott.
It took a minute for me to get you because it took for a while. Hey, so then I love the story, man, and the path that you walked, and when you failed forward. I'm saying you kept on going, you picked it up. Did you have like a consultant or a coach or somebody that was kind of there for you along the way, or did you kind of figure it out, man?
No, I was pretty anti-help.
Okay.
I mean, that was part of my demise.
Yeah.
I had a lot of ego, a lot of pride that first 20 years.
Yeah.
And I'm a Marine. I just dipped the shoulder. It was twice as hard, took twice as long, but I did it.
Right.
But then I didn't do it. I had a multi-billionaire client like giving me advice, but what does he know? He doesn't build water features.
Right. Right.
So
yeah.
All the stuff he said was right. I'm just all my great advisors. I just wouldn't take their advice. I just thought I knew everything. Absolute idiocy. I
had so much paper underwritten by Bear Stearns in 2008. And then I was at Lifetime Fitness looking at the screen above the exercise bikes. Mm-hmm. I'm like, Bear's filing. I'm like, and I called Rachel, my assistant, and I said, hey, how many deals we got? 18. I mean, I lost everything within those 2 years as well. I was closing 15, 20 million a year in real estate in Detroit. I went down to nothing. So kind of the same thing. I was weird for me is I actually accepted help when that happened. But before I was printing money, I knew everything. I was like, brother, yeah, in the real estate markets would go up. And all these advisors, they actually gave me my start. Were like, watch your money. It's like they basically Gordon Gecko'd me. They're like, listen, man, money is like a jealous girlfriend. You don't pay attention to it, she'll leave your ass. But watch it. Not from a way of I'm in love with money, but dude, you need money to live, bro. Right?
You can't help anyone if you're broke.
So if someone comes to you, if anyone was to say to you, like, because I have kids at high school I speak to pro bono, and they're like, should we go to college? And I'm like, yeah, I think you should, just for the connection that you can have with people, right? Well, you didn't because you went in the military. Yeah, but I have a brotherhood that I can make phone calls to the guys I served with, and they handle it. So I'm like, if you're not an entrepreneur, if you don't have that mindset, get your ass in college and make connections, right? So with you, the reason why I'm asking is you coded the question, if someone would say you didn't have a coach, right? Why should I hire you?
Well, like I tell my kids, that first 20 years, don't do what I did. Do what I do now. Yeah. And I coach them through it. And they've all had coaches growing up. Yeah. In sports, anything they do, tutors. Yeah. I brought in the tutor when my son had to do the ASVAB because we homeschool, right? We homeschool our kids all the way through. Gotcha. So they don't do standardized testing. Okay. So the ASVAB was difficult for him. Okay. So the recruiter's like, well, it's pretty low. I go, well, I'll handle it. Right. He went from, I kid you not, a 16 on the practice test. Oh, yeah. 4 weeks later, 5 weeks later, brought in the tutor, worked him 89. Nice. Okay. Just because he doesn't test that way. That's not how we train our kids, right? So it's nothing we can't overcome. But again, the coaches, my daughter, get her private lessons with a volleyball coach. You want to be good? Yeah. I'll get you good. I kid coaching. I coach my son, took him to the Junior Olympics. Yeah. Coached him, trained him every day. Before we went in basic for the Marine Corps, 3 a days for 7 months straight. Wow. Nice. I ran them through. So they know what coaching is. They understand that you need the outside eyes. And that's what I tell people. And now I can say, well, talk to my clients. They'll tell you why. Absolutely. Right. Look at this. Yeah. So what do you feel then makes a great coach then, Richard? I'll tell you, I really think, and again, obviously it's a biased view here, but I am solely focused on results. Okay. Now that might sound obvious to people, like that's what everyone gets, but they don't, because, and I've nailed down, there's two different things. There's teachers and there's trainers. Gotcha. Teachers are going to talk and they might have cool modules and they'll talk about all this stuff, but then they're going to leave the classroom and you got to go home and do your work. And then if you do, you don't, they don't really care. Right. Okay. Right. I'm a trainer. So if the teacher tells you to do 25 push-ups, he's going to leave the room and expect you to do 25 push-ups. Right. I'm going to say, we're going to do 25 push-ups, get on your face. Let's go. I'm going to get on my face, start banging them out. You are going to do more than me. Right. And I'm going to make sure the form's right. You're going all the way. You're going to get it done and you're going to get 25. Love it. I'll be there and I'm a high five and there we go. Accountability, baby. Yeah. That's my approach. That's why I do the tactical and the strategic. Okay. I love the fires that flare up in business. Yeah. And most business coaches, and I'm being very general here, obviously. Yeah. They don't have the experience because a lot of them haven't even run a business or built a business, but they can't put out fires. Right. Like Scott, I could see you could bring 30 people on, I will sit here and I'll solve every problem.
Right.
They get
Yeah.
fired at me and I'll just spend, and I'll love it.
Yeah. Get
Like
after
that's,
it. Yeah.
it's just a gift.
Right.
And I love doing that stuff. So I think that's the difference.
Yeah.
Because I'm so like hands-on. One of the things we do in a coaching program, we have what the Voxer app is. It's a walkie-talkie app.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I live in Hurricane Central, dude. We have it on our phones, right?
So I use that with my clients so they can reach out every day to me. Now, these are recorded messages. I respond same day.
Nice.
We don't wait till next week to talk about a problem you had last Tuesday, this Wednesday. Like we move at the speed of business.
Right. Right.
So I can, in 30 seconds, I can answer their call. I'm done.
Right.
I don't have to dial them. I just chirp. I was like, yeah, no, you're not going to do that. You're going to do this, this, and this. Okay.
Right.
Get that done. Goodbye.
Right.
Like, okay. That's how we build our coaching program.
That's awesome.
So that there's that kind of connection.
And there's that connection in there. And I'm hearing coach, not consultant. I believe that everybody knows what they want. They just don't know how to talk themselves into it. Right. That's where that coach really comes in. And I sit every single one of my clients I'm blessed to have in Jupiter, Florida, in the driver's seat of their car, and I hop in the passenger seat. And I'm like, listen, this rearview mirror is small for a reason, right? That's your history. It's a great place to learn from and visit every once in a while, but we're not going there. This big windshield, super scary. What the hell? Where are we going? Since 2011, they put this thing on the console called the GPS. That's where I am, but we're not getting anywhere to where you want to go. And I can't buckle your seatbelt if you want to, and I can't hit start, and I can't put it in drive. You got to do it. That from the coaching standpoint, because a lot of people become consultants and start telling. I've tried to do that before, and people are like, "Forget, I tried that, and you suck." You know what I'm saying? So that's awesome. I love that the accountability that you hold to your clients, man. That's awesome. So let's say you're in kind of a discovery session with someone to make sure you're the right horse for the course, and they're the right client that you want to work with. Is there any secret sauce that you might have, if you don't mind sharing, that kind of helps you and them identify the initial blind spot that you're going to be working with?
Yeah, so I'm pretty blunt.
Love it.
I just ask, what's your biggest challenge right now? Tell me your biggest challenge right now. And they'll tell me, and I'll tell them how to fix it.
Nice.
Okay. Right. So I start there. Now, okay, that's all good. Then we go through some more discovery, right? We talk and everything else, because there has to be a fit.
Right.
I mean, personalities are personalities. And if you're not, I've fired my share of clients. I've been fired, but it's just it's how it is, right?
It is, man. It's personality.
And that's okay.
Yes.
And if you don't, it's the old saying, you're not trying hard enough.
Right.
Right. I'm not all things to all people. I have a niche, but I also have a full assessment, all 12 areas of their business. So when they start, there's like 160 questions, and shows exactly where their entire business is right now. Right. There's 4 different score levels.
Right.
And I tell them, don't be bummed out when you score low.
Right.
But we're going to fix it. That's what creates the roadmap you were just talking about with the GPS.
Yeah.
That now gives us a place to go.
Yeah.
So now we build that. Then every quarter they retake it. Now there's a percentage of completion answer. I get 25, 50, 75, 100%. And now they can track their progress. We can retake that stuff as we systemize their business and get all these other things in order. So a lot of accountability, right? Like we're talking about, a lot of training, I want to see you've made it. Come with stuff done. You talk to me in a week. That's really where it's at. So that discovery call is really a setup for what's your challenge. Right. I can fix that in one way or another, right? Whether I completely do it right then, but show them that possibility, go through the other stuff, and make sure that we really are gelling and like they're ready to do the work.
Right.
I said, I'm here for you. Right. Like if you go to the gym and you have a personal trainer, he's not doing the push-ups for you.
Right. Yeah.
Not driving that car, doing the pull-ups. Yeah. I'll hold your feet, but you're doing the pulling. You know what I mean? Like that's all good. So I make that very clear. And we do actually, we have a pretty warrior mindset. I mean, it is sharpen the spirit coaching.
Yeah, absolutely.
Honing entrepreneurial warriors on the battlefield of business. So you'll see a lot of that repeated. And it's just a mindset I have. And I think it served me really well. My Marine Corps mindset as well in business. There's kind of, it's not the no failure thing. No. It's like, it's achieving the objective no matter what.
Right.
It's a different
shifting
mindset.
When you need to shift, man.
That's right.
So let's say we're maybe still in this discovery conversation a little bit, man. Your curiosity grenade has been thrown. You're figuring some stuff out. Is there any good question that you wish they would ask you, but never do?
Oh, let me think on that. Never do. I think I actually like it, because a lot of them want like a time frame. Okay. And I can give a time. It's a 12-month program. Right. And we'll have you there if you do the work.
Right.
Right. It's always dependent on the client. That's
Absolutely.
one thing that they don't get. But something they've asked me that I wish they would, that they don't ask Oh yeah. It's like, and then what? That's the question I want. And
Yes.
then what? So we do this 12-month, I get there, then what? I go, oh, I got you covered.
Gotcha.
Now we go into growth and projection. We have a whole nother level. You go up. So yeah, we have a place to go. Like, because all my clients don't leave. I'm not gonna say I don't get it. I love it, but they really like to keep going.
Yeah.
So for years, it's just, and there is a time when you have to go to a new coach.
Sure.
Absolutely. Right. There's things I don't do everything, but wow, it's so flattering when guys just do the next thing. And we keep delivering results because that's our focus. So they stay. So yeah.
I love that, because I would have like these endings where like we get to a part, and like I used to say a lot of times, my job is to get you to fire me, kind of thing, like, because we get you there. But I would have these things popping up that, man, I could take them to another level, and hence leveling up. And now it's like I have clients 2-3 years sometimes, right? Versus it was like a 12-week program, and they stay because they're like, okay, what's next? Right. So I love that. That's a great thing. You hear that, squad? Like, get out there and like, know that you're going to have stops, but what's next? And we get rid of the coach. And hopefully it's my good friend Richard here. And Richard, have you seen the movie Back to the Future?
Yes.
Okay, let's get in that DeLorean with Marty McFly, buddy. Let's go back to the Double Deuce, a 22-year-old Richard. Okay, what kind of knowledge nuggets? I don't want you to change anything. Okay. Because what's happened to you has made you, but what kind of knowledge nuggets might you drop on him to maybe help him shorten a learning curve or blast through maybe just a little bit quicker?
Find someone who's been there and attach yourself to them.
That's
it. Because I wouldn't. It was all me, man. It was me and my pickaxe, me and my shovel, me and my wheelbarrow. It's just we're taking out. It's just, you got to put the ego in a box.
Have to. Yeah.
I mean, it can't, and I didn't. I mean, it's ego and pride and all that just runs. Sure. There's a great saying I learned from very, very good friends of mine, real successful entrepreneurs. And it's ambition is great in the passenger seat. It makes a terrible driver, though. If ambition is in the driver's seat, you're going to have a problem, because it'll just keep going, right? That's where you lose your balance. You drive way too hard. You start stepping on people, crushing things, anything to get the achievement, right?
Right.
So you got to learn to put that in the passenger seat, but you're still driving.
Love that.
Right.
So that's like, keep the ego when you need it, but don't be that douchebag most of the time. Because that's the thing is, I've learned that the more and become that mentor, because I really believe in the plus equals minus, right? Where every day, I still do it to this day at 52 years old, where like I find someone that I want to emulate, right? And learn from them. That's your plus. The equals is what we're doing. We're rapping about businesses and picking up ideas. I pick up awesome ideas right now that I'm going to implement, right? And the minus is sending that elevator down, right? Somebody else to get their ass up, because the more you mentor, the more immortal you become. Right. It's just the truth. Like, I'm probably not going to have a street named after me, or something like that. But there's things that I'm going to drop on people that were dropped on me. My name of my book that's coming out is Regurgitate, because I regurgitate everything that I've learned from everybody else. Right. And they did too. Tony Robbins, Jim Rohn.
Nothing new. Nothing new under the sun.
Yeah, exactly. Jim Rohn, Wallace.
Okay. Ask Solomon.
Exactly, dude. Yeah, that's why I'm in Proverbs.
Ecclesiastes. Yeah. Read Ecclesiastes. You'll see that.
Absolutely.
It'll give it a reality.
Absolutely. So, how do you want your dash remembered? That little line in between your incarnation date and your expiration date, your life date and death date. Hopefully it's way down the line, brother. But how do you want your dash remembered?
Really, for me, the legacy I want to create is primarily with my family. Yeah. I want them to know I'm a God-fearing man. My children learned from me, continued what they saw, because more is caught than taught. Right. So the things that I did, I want them to know I lived the life.
Yeah.
I was always who I am. I'm never someone else.
Sure.
And that legacy I want to live on in them and their children, and everything else. Because that's how you affect things. Right. And that's how you make change. So I think that's to me, because one of my biggest joys is raising my children.
Sure.
All the business success, everything else. I know people hear this and I'm like, it really isn't anything.
Sure.
Okay. Like, it's great. It's a thing to do. It's kind of a scorecard. Yeah. But when I have 6 kids, all within like 4 years of each other. Like, I'm raising a gang. Okay. Yeah. I'm like raising a gang. And it's all different. and unique, and we're homeschooling them the whole time. And you got all these elements. So I poured a lot into them. So I pour a lot into these kids. And it doesn't mean they're perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but they're going to all do great things in their own way.
That's awesome. Yeah.
So
what do you think people misunderstand the most about you?
So do you think looking at me, I'm an artist?
My younger days, I'd be like, that dude couldn't draw a stick figure. But as we get more mature, you get curious, and I can see it. But if I was just a layman dude out there, be like, no way. Okay.
Yeah, it's like the intro, right? Like you read my bio.
Right.
Best-selling author and this and international recognized steel sculptor and boxer and blah, blah. All these things people love to put you in one thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's in business, it's a difficulty when you're trying to market, because they can only they can't believe, because most people haven't done anything with their life.
Right.
And I'm just being honest. So they can't imagine you doing 5 incredible things.
Right.
Because they never would.
Right. Yeah.
Now, I'll give you an example real quick. Travis Rossbach, he started Hydro Flask.
Okay.
So I got him on my podcast and I'm talking to him, and this dude was a 50-ton marine captain, ships. He's an international pilot, right? Jets. Mm-hmm. He's a scuba instructor, started Hydro Flask, built it to hundreds of millions, sold out. You go through a guy and he was 50 or 40. I'm like, dang, dude, that's 4 lives.
Yeah,
a maritime captain. You're sailing, you're
rough life, man. Yeah.
But then flying jets all over the world, landing everyone, all that stuff. And then the certified scuba instructor, then create Hydro Flask, which is now over $1 billion company.
Wow.
Okay. Wow. That's a dude before you're 50.
Right.
Try to wrap your head around that.
You
look at myself, I'm like, man, I'm a slacker.
Right. Yeah. It turns on your intention button, to really be intentional about stuff, because obviously he provided a service. And that's awesome. So what is Richard's definition of a life well lived?
Wow. I think I'll go back to what I just said too, that people respect me because I have beliefs. I hold to my beliefs. I don't sway. I don't compromise.
Yeah.
You know exactly where you stand with me at all times.
Transparent, baby, and open. Nice, man. And if everyone, just imagine if everyone would do that and respect it. Just imagine, dude. We were talking off mic about the turmoil of stuff that's going on. Just imagine, right? You and I did the deed so we can live somewhere where we can have differences, right? So that'd be awesome. Time to Shine Today podcast Varsity Squad. We are back. And Richard, when I get up there this fall, we're definitely going to meet up, maybe for a brain grenade or a tea or a whatever, right? And probably talk about a few of these questions at length. But today you have 5 seconds with no explanations, and they can all be answered that way. I promise. You ready to level up?
I'm ready.
All right, here we go, Richard. What is the best leveling up advice you've ever received?
Get help.
Yes. Share one of your personal habits that contributes to your success.
4 a.m. rise every day, 7 days a week.
Yes. So if you see me walking down the street, you're like, man, Fergie looks like he's in his doldrums, right? Other than Escape the Power, the Owner Prison, what book might you hand me to level me up?
I would give you Grit by Angela Duckworth.
Absolutely. Any commonly used emojis when you text?
Yeah, probably the bicep crunch and a flame
Got it. Love it. Nicknames growing up?
Rick.
All right. I go with our dub. Richard Walsh. I love it. Yeah. Anyways, any hidden talent and or superpowers that you have that nobody really knows about until now?
What I call my spiritual gift is discernment.
Nice.
It served me really, really well.
Excellent. Chess, checkers, or Monopoly?
Chess.
Nice. Go-to ice cream flavor?
Oh man. Go pralines and cream.
Nice. There's a sandwich called the R-Dub. I gave you a nickname. The R-Dub. Build that sandwich for me.
Let's go. We're gonna go turkey.
Okay.
We're gonna go salami.
Okay.
We're gonna do a thin sliced ham. We're gonna do some giardiniera on there. A little oil.
Hell yeah.
A little salt and pepper.
Right.
Light lettuce and a layer of tomatoes. give me a little mayo and a shot of mustard, and we're snarfing.
Dude, that is fucking, we would crush that. I just like man candy on everything. And bacon. I'd throw bacon on there too. So favorite charity and organization you'd like to give your time and or money to?
We have one locally. It's called Beloit Cares. My town is Beloit, and we created that charity. We help other organizations in the town.
Gotcha.
So we don't give them money all the time. We give them what they need.
Love it.
Women's shelter, they need shampoo, they need toilet paper. They need this.
Yeah, dude.
We load it up.
That's
so
awesome.
That saves them a ton of money. Now they can use it for important stuff. So
Thank you for doing that, brother. Yeah. Last question. You can elaborate on this one. What's the best decade of music? 60s, 70s, 80s, or 90s?
We're talking 1800s like Beethoven and
no.
Okay. Oh, I gotta be
1970s, 1980s, 1990s.
Oh man, that's hard. That's hard because I have a very odd thing in music. I'm gonna go with kind of a crossover 70 and the 80s.
Me too. Do it right
Emerson,
there.
Emerson Lake and Palmer. Palmer.
Oh yeah.
Dude, that genre. Yes.
There you go. Yes. This is great.
I'm saying that's them.
Owner of a Broken Heart. Yeah, I got you, brother. Yeah, I'm the same way. It's because the 80s.
Roundabout.
Yeah.
Roundabout.
The 80s, like I graduated in 1990, right? So the 80s was like that decade of decadence, and so much stuff happened in there. And I go to the 70s for stories, to like listen to stories, saying that everything you can understand what they were saying and everything else, and just legends. So that's awesome. So, Richard, how can we find you, brother?
sharpenthespearcoaching.com.
Excellent. And I know that we are going to get to a book here. Tell us a little bit about the book you authored. I believe it was, 2019 or 20, right?
Correct.
It dropped?
2019, yep.
Okay.
So Escape the Owner Prison, the contractor's new way to scale, regain control, and fast-track growth while loving life. Hardest part of the book was the title and the subtitle. Writing a book, piece of cake. So if you're ever going to do that, stand by for the title. Okay. I had 27 options for a title, and I had to go with the 28th. So Escape the Owner Prison is the 28th. All right.
Love it.
It really is woven with my story plus how to get out of that trap where you're caught in 2 years. You keep repeating the first 2 years of your business. You're not able to scale and grow. This shows you how. It's also a lot of fundamentals, especially in the service and trades industry, that really shows you what you're missing and why you're not able to charge what you charge and really do well and scale and serve the people you truly want to serve. That book's going to help you do that.
Excellent. And so is it kind of, I believe you said earlier, it's somewhat autobiographical, right?
Yeah, my story is woven in there. So you hear stories with clients and me and the family and how you have to deal with. We all deal with the special clients.
Sure.
Right. So, and it's 3 phases. It goes 0 to $1 million, $1 million to $5 million, $5 million to $10 million. That's the scaling progress, right? So that's what you're kind of learning in there as well.
Gotcha. I believe that you said, okay, put it this way. What we'll do, squad, is I'm going to do a 2-book giveaway for the first person or the first 2 people that put Prison Break into, I don't care if it's Pinterest. I don't care if you text it to 561-440-3830. You just just put Prison Break in there and we'll know, and we will get 2 on Time to Shine Today's Dime. We'll get 2 or a copy each of Escape the Owner Prison. Again, it's Prison Break. Put that in there. And I believe if the first 2 people that put in, we'll just say R-DUB, again, to any platform that my good friend Richard might think about giving you a audio version of his book. Is that right, Richard?
That's right. That's
awesome,
right.
Man. That's huge, man. I really, really appreciate that. So, Richard, do me one last solid and leave me with us, the squad, with one last knowledge nugget we can take with us, internalize, and take action on.
I'm gonna give you a quote that most people don't know, and it's a great one. Okay, you ready?
Sure.
Okay. Dedication to a goal that never wavers. Resolution. This is a basic principle in the life of every truly great character. He who resolves upon any great and good end has that by that very resolution clothed himself in power and has scaled the chief barrier to it.
Basically, be dedicated to a goal that never wavers, even if
perseverance.
Perseverance. Inch by inch, it's a cinch. By the yard, it's hard, right? So they inch by inch. Keep going.
Stay in it. Stay in it. You got to stay in it, man. It's the other side is awesome.
Yeah.
But it's not easy to get there. There's not a lot of people there.
Yeah.
You know, they say many starters, few finishers.
Right.
I am all about finishing.
Gotcha. I love it. And squad, we just had a fun kick-ass conversation with my good friend Richard Walsh. I mean, the pickaxe guy that was out there and he saw opportunity and went after it. And what I'm hearing a lot in this is Richard really wants himself and others to live a life of options and not obligations, right? It's like everybody's obligated to do stuff. But if we can get you with my good friend Richard here, I'm sure that he'll be letting you lean into your options, like Cortez did, like burn those ships, so like really push forward, but have that mentor. Again, the more you mentor, the more immortal you become. And also you need a coach. Like I have 4 coaches, Squad. People know that. I put all of my $96,000 a year I pay out on coaches. I put it all online on my website. You need a coach. Don't do it like myself and Richard did and try to do it alone for parts of your life, because that learning curve is very much shortened when you bring a guy like Richard on. Okay. Like a lot of people, we're kind of develop our own owner prison. We keep repeating the same steps, Richard, he kind of reminded us. And we need to start really piling on the appreciating assets and then working from those and making them better. Coaches should be focused on results and the person and holding that person accountable. And someone like Richard's really he's a good listener. I can see it. He listens with what I call listening with your neck. He really leans in on you. He wants that because he will know exactly how he's going to hold you accountable, right? And then if you're working with a coach, ask him, and then what? You're gonna buy into his program. You're gonna get to a certain part, and then what? And that good coach is gonna have that mapped out for you and going. But you got to put the reps in and get working. And he reminded us that ambition is great in the passenger seat. In the driver's seat, that ego's there, you're going to crash the freaking car. So like check your ego at the door. Get out there, listen to people. I mean, my good friend Richard here, he's planting trees he's never going to sit in the shade of, right? He does stuff for the intention. And the reason why I said that about his planting the trees is because he's doing it with his family. Hopefully, God willing, they all outlive him. But he's planting those trees, and those trees are going to plant more trees and more trees. And he does this for the intention, not the attention. I don't see him out there blasting, look at me, blah, blah, blah. It's like he really gets in to each one of his clients, right? And also, lastly, dedication, be dedicated to the goal that never wavers. Get the help when needed, but don't waver for it. Persistence, inch by inch, it's a cinch. All right. By the yard, it's hard. Let's get after it, Squad. Thank you so much for coming on. Richard, you level up your health. You level up your wealth. You're a handsome devil. You've earned your varsity squad letter here at Time to Shine today. Thank you so much for coming on, brother. I can't wait to meet you and maybe even collaborate on a little something down the line, bro.
I'm all for it, Scott. Thanks for having me, man. This has been an honor. I really appreciate it.
You bet, my friend. Chat soon. Hey, thanks so much for listening to this episode of Time to Shine Today, proudly brought to you by Inlet Properties and Investments. If you are a business owner or professional who would like to be interviewed on the Time to Shine Today podcast, please visit timetoshinetoday.com/guest. If you'd like this episode, please subscribe on Apple Podcasts, YouTube Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or wherever you get your podcasts. There's a link in the show notes to our website. Also, there you will see our recommended resources. We hope you will help support our show by supporting them. If you like what you have been listening to, it'd be great if you could give us a 5-star rating and tell your friends how to subscribe while you're at it. I'm your host, Scott Ferguson, and until next time, let's level up. It's your time to shine.